everybody. I'm Dr. Jill Scharff from the United States. I'm here with my husband.
Dr. David Scharff,
Also from the...
United States, from Maryland.
Yeah. We're very happy to be here at this Congress in Lyon of the International Association of Couple and Family Psychoanalysis.
And we're very grateful to Rosa Heighton, Anima Shalvi, and all the organizers who have made such a wonderful conference possible.
We'd been at this conference some years ago and then lost touch with the organization. And we've seen it evolve greatly under the recent administration. And that's really why we were so interested to come again this year and join in the collaborative work.
We think it's a very important organization for the international study of how people treat families and couples psychoanalytically, and for the comparison of ideas that is such a crucible of development of new ideas.
There was another reason, though, which was that you particularly were invited as chair of COFA.
Yes, that I chair the IPA committee on couple and family psychoanalysis, of which Jill is an adjunct member, where we, from the standpoint of the IPA, the International Psychoanalytic Association, we really work worldwide to compare ideas as they differ in different geographical regions and from different theoretical perspectives, which is an overlapping aim of this conference and of this organization.
What do you think about the theme of this conference?
Well, the theme this year was history and history, wasn't it? And it started with the grand history of the world, which I thought was very ambitious. But it did set the context, didn't it, for including link theory with object relations theory and other psychoanalytic approaches to couple and family work.
Right, and I think it's particularly useful to be in France, where there are so many innovative ideas that have come into the work of psychoanalytic approaches to couples and families. But I think what we share is the idea that families carry histories, often without words, and that the work that we do enables them to find words to create a story that gives them a sense of where they've come from and even where they want to go.
And I see a big difference in the approach to the themes in this conference than in previous ones, where I felt there was a tremendous emphasis on original Freudian classical theory, particularly focused on narcissism. That's still important, of course, in work with couples, where narcissism can be the thing that really interferes with couples responding to the otherness of the partner. But this time I noticed a much greater breadth of interest in aspects of other theories coming together to make a more whole object to contemplate.
Yes, I agree.
It was a pre-congress. What do you think about that method, that approach to presenting the works, the books?
Well, look, it was very impressive to see how many publications have come out of the collaborative efforts of people in this organization. I have to say it was kind of tedious to go on and on for hours, listening, or not really hearing about the work so much as just seeing the display. Nevertheless, I have to say the display is quite impressive. And Hani Manchalvi made that point, didn't she, in the discussion?
Yeah, I think to see the number of people who have been so serious and creative about developing varying aspects of our work, from the work of the relationship of siblings to the historical transmission of difficulty, and always keeping a family and a couple at the center. I think it's very, very impressive.
Could you say a few words about whichever book of yours that you presented yesterday is the most important to you and one you want to talk about today?
I think the most important books from yesterday are not the ones that we've written just by ourselves, but the bringing together of family therapists from around the world to discuss each other's work and each other's approach in ways that really explore both the differences and the similarities, so that these books from the COFAP committee, the IPA committee on couple and family analysis. And then we did present one book that Jill and I edited, but it's really a result of the collaboration between Tavistock Relationships, which is so important in English-speaking couple therapy, and our own institute, the International Psychotherapy Institute, to bring together a kind of way of working with couples and families, especially couples, that is a beginning point for those people who've not done the work.
Well, you're talking about psychoanalytic couple therapy,
Yeah.
that book. Yeah. Well, it is a huge book, and it's foundational, really, at this point. However, you should mention the other. Well, what's important about the other collections is that they are in Spanish as well.
Yes.
And I wish they could be in French as well, but we haven't had French collaborators. And hopefully we may encourage some to join us
Yes.
after being at this conference, which is another reason to be here, which is to meet people who want to work together.
This is the 8th Congress. How do you see it evolve in future?
That would not really be for us to say, in that we're not involved in the administration. I know there's some talk about maybe changing it to April or September, but tradition dies hard, and I imagine it will continue to be in those rather hot summer months. It's been in Panama, hasn't it? Now it's in Europe. Maybe next time it will be on our side of the Atlantic, or perhaps out towards Australia.
It's been in Buenos Aires as well. It started in there was a sort of a premonition of one in Paris, and then it moved to Montreal.
Mhm.
So it has been in both Europe and the Americas, North and South.
One thing I have noticed is that there's a huge interest in couple and family therapy in China, where we are involved in a continuous training course in Beijing. There is no Chinese presence here. Do you notice that? I didn't see any.
No Chinese presence, right?
Yeah, so there's an area in which IACFP might possibly evolve.
In training and in transmission of knowledge, really, in this field, how is knowledge transmitted from one generation to the next? Is it that young people just have to learn from the past and from their elders? Or is it that young people also bring their own material and there's more of an exchange between the two?
We always want to see an exchange. And we've learned so much from our students who bring a fresh perspective and a lot of energy and liveliness to the interactions.
And less dogmatism.
Yeah.
So, yes, I think the young should learn from the experienced people in the field, of course, because there's a lot to transmit. And we find that there are people who are very interested in this and they want to learn. But we also want to, as Jill's saying, to be very, very open to the ideas that the young people bring, and especially the importance of the way they carry current cultural context that older people are often isolated from. We don't know the adolescent culture the way our younger students do.
I also find myself, as an older person in the field, very much appreciated because of the length of experience I've had. And that's very nice. I also find myself feeling very dependent on young people because of the insularity of our current political climate, particularly in the United States, but I think it's true around the world. I sort of feel in desperate need of young people to shake it up and move into the more collaborative, sharing kind of economy that they espouse. I'd like to see them shake the world up. Yes, I would.
I think there's an ossification at every level, inevitably, of the way people think as they get older, and that young people bring a need to see things in new ways. In the United States, it's represented at the moment by the way the young people whose high schools has been decimated by current politics, by guns, saying we're not going to stand for this, and in a way that our generation has not been able to convey. So I think there's something comparable, not quite so violent, but equally urgent. We wish the association a wonderful continued life and evolution as really a force in our field for the growth of ideas and the sharing of thinking worldwide.
Yes, thank you to all of you for including us in this event.